Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to start a new journal, and I decided I'm going to make another ring-bound journal, but I'm going to make it smaller. I have to make a 3x4 journal for a swap, so I thought I'd see about making one of these in 3x4. I'm going to do the pages 3x4 because I've got all this 12x12 paper and that will cut nicely, so the cover will be slightly bigger, but I'm sure that will be fine. So I've got these are all Stampin' Up paper. These two are current, these two are retired, and it was this pack actually that I remembered I had and thought this would be good to use on an autumn themed journal. It's called Colour Me Autumn. I have no idea how old it is. I've been a demonstrator over 5 years, and I think I bought it before I became a demonstrator, so yes, long time. So I liked this sheet, and it's got Blackberry Bliss on the other side, which is my fave. Some acorns, and then I believe that's Mossy Meadow, and then we've got some complementary colours. Now we would usually have 6 different sheets, so which one's missing that I haven't pulled out? That one. Oh, it's very tight in this packet, or I'm just a bit weak. Oh, that's lovely. Blackberry Bliss is my favourite colour. That sheet just might have to be folded, and then there's that. Oh, that's lovely. That must be Cajun Craze, I think. Should tell me on here the colours. Some of them might be retired colours because they do use some in colours on them. Actually, I think at the time of this, Mossy Meadow and Blackberry Bliss might have been in colours, but they're not anymore. They're so Cajun Craze, I was right. Custard Curry, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Blackberry Bliss, Soft Suede, and Whisper White. Well, we're now Basic White, but that doesn't matter. So yeah, those are the colours. Got all of those, so that's fabulous. So definitely going to use these papers. I think that's a lovely autumn colour. This, I can't even remember the name of this. It's probably got it written on here. Floral Romance. So we've got Fresh Fig, which is quite similar to Blackberry Bliss, Mossy Meadow again, Pear Pizzazz, Petal Pink, Sahara Sand, and Whisper White. I've not got much left of this. This would have been, I'd have done a paper share, and I'd have had six sheets of 6x12. So that's all I've got left. That's okay. Not sure about the Petal Pink, but that is quite a nice bit of vellum, which I might use. That might make an interesting page. Might not bother with the Petal Pink in it. And then there's this pack. I haven't got a full pack of this. This was from an event I went to. And that got a sample of this paper, which is lovely, really lovely. And so I think that's Evening Evergreen. Beautiful. There's my Blackberry Bliss. I'd have to like somebody a real lot to put that in it. Bermuda Bay, I think that is. That's not the right colour. Yeah, that just needs stroking. That can't be cut up. Let's go back on the shelf. Got it out, and now no. This one is Rustic Harvest. So this is in the mini catalogue, and there is some sheets in this which I thought would be good to use. I've cut out some of the leaves, so that's it's very Thanksgiving, isn't it? It's very US Thanksgiving with all the pumpkins, but quite like that. And there is one that's just got pumpkins, which I thought I could use. Not that one, that one. Black and white on the other side. Thought that was cool. So I might use that. Put that one back. And this might lend itself for the cover. Really nice. Like it. So put that back for now. So those are the papers I was thinking of using. Now I've gone through the journal I've already made, and I sort of wrote down how I sort of split up the pages. So I had 11 sheets of DSP, which I created pockets with. There were 8 book pages, so cool. I'm gonna bung in Edith Holden because it's autumn and you would. Why wouldn't you? And I've probably got some other books that I can use. I used 12 sheets of stationery. By stationery I just mean sort of like different pages. This is quite old. In it to add interest, and I had 2 envelopes in there as pockets, and so then I had to sort of make tags with it. So those that's sort of what I'm sort of going with. So, and I thought as well that I might be able to cut these leaves out on my Scan and Cut, which would look quite good on top of tags and things. These don't. I've scanned these and I've tried them, but because it's on a black background, it was hard to do. So I wasn't that successful of cutting these out at all. So let's get some pages cut. So we want, what did I say, 3x4. So let's cut it at 6 inches. And 6 inches that way. Let's score at 2 because we're going to make a pocket. And then let's cut at 3. So there we've got our pages. I thought I might make 2 at the same time. One to give away and one to sell. That was my thoughts. I did do some repeating through it. So there we go. So let's do that again. Score at 2. Cut at 3. I could do this in the opposite way. I might change my mind. And I might even decide to cut that down a bit. Fold it over. Fold it over, Jess. I think it'd be a good idea if you folded it over. Score there. 1/2 inch. Make it that way. Then that way, pocket's not too tall, and that's quite cute. Yep, like that. Like that. Do that one the other way. Yep. So that is how we're going to do those. So I will carry on doing my pages, and then I'll come back to you when they're all done. So I finished cutting them all out, and I have been gluing them down, and I just thought I'd show you how I glue them down. What I decided to do was to have a little tuck on some of these and not on the others. So I did half with a tuck and half without. And I'm sort of looking at it and thinking, actually, now that I've finished it, it's not a very tight tuck. Oh yeah, it will stay up there. Something will stay up there. Right, so because I've got 2 pages of each, I did one way and one the other. So I'm just using art glitter glue because I don't have much Tombow at the moment, which would be the glue I'd use for this, but I did buy a big bottle of art glitter at a reasonable price. People say it's a brilliant strong glue, so I thought, right, I was gonna try it. So I've done a little bit of a thicker bit on each side rather than just a thin line, because I don't need a massive tuck, just need a little bit of a tuck, and then small bead up each of these. Like that. So that's how I did that, and then I cut a 4x3 of that vellum, which I thought would be interesting. So that's those pages. So I have got 12 bits DSP, so I've gone a little bit off-pieced, but you know, there we go. So now I'm going to choose my sort of autumn-looking book pages. So I've pulled out some books. So obviously this is Edith Holden, and these are definitely autumn. It's even got September written on the back. We've got Conkers, and we've got some dead leaves there, so we can use that. The Alpine Flowers, I no idea on the months of when these came out, so I'm just sort of looking what looks like an autumnal colour. So some of these pages I've like backed for tags and things, so I quite liked, thought that was quite a nice colour. Let's pull that out. And the whole thing will come out there as a sort of signature. Oh, I ripped a bit there. I could have that in one, that in another. That works. What have we got on this one? Fluff that one up, haven't I? I like that. Not quite the right colour there. Let's bung that in the front with all the other loose leaves. There is a better way of opening this, Jess. Quite liked that with the berries on. And that one with berries on. So might not use all of these. Right, so we'll have them. And here's my illustrated encyclopedia of herbs. And this one does say on it when they sort of flower. but didn't always. So that one's September, October. That one's due to September. I mean, I know that's okay because it goes into September, but some of them might have been May to June and September, October on one side. So I had to dig deep and look hard to find ones that were on. So that's June onwards. And this one's July to September. So I think we're just about getting that one. And July to September and June to September. So that's what I've got there. So now we need to cut these up. Now these pages, when I used them in the other book, which was 6x4, so it's twice the size, I did it and created a pocket. I might do that. I'm not sure. So it's got to be 3 inches wide. So cut it down. So this is where I'm going to choose. I like that berry. That is not very straight, Jez. How on earth have you cut that to not be that straight? Right, I'm going to cut down there. And then we're going to create it straight that way. So as we go 3 down there. So 4 is how long we want it. So go to 5.5. Well, if I go to 6, then I can do like I did before. We can have a little lip, can't we? So going to gently score that because you can easily go through it. So flower's a bit upside down, but I wasn't sure that mattered. You know, I'm not inking any of this. I think that's quite autumnal, like that. So that's how I'm going to do that one. I'll just, don't need to do them all, do we? So let's take that down to the picture. Take that down there. Yep. I'm going to go 4 because I'm thinking I might get 2. So thinking of doing a flip out. So if that's 3, then should we put that on the 2, and then we've got a little bit of a flip. So that will be bound, and that's the little flip. That's my thoughts there. So we'll go down there at 3, move that along to 2, cut it. So we got a little flip. Yep, that's how we're doing that one. And then with our Edith Holden, it's more than 8 inches long, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's 9 inches long, so I can actually take a bit of that off the top. Could take an inch off the top. Let's double check. So let's do this way. 4 inches long. Do another flip. 3 inches. Put that at 2. Cut down there. Space to write there. So that is, should have done it the other way around, shouldn't I? I'll do it that way. So that's going to get bound. That's me flip. Yeah, that works. Could make a tag out of that. So four, Jez. 4. There we go. Three with a score. Cut off there at 2. Another nice little flip. So one of those in each book. So we'll do the same with this one. That's already got a bit of a flip there. It's on the wrong side though. It's actually on the wrong side, just about. So I wonder if I could get 3 sheets out of this. Make it slightly shorter. I could go 3 lots of 3. Another shorter flip. And I've got 3 pages. Too nice not to get 3 pages out of this. So cut that at 3. Then there, got a flip there. That one's a bit boring. They might become tags. So I'm going to finish cutting up the other pages. So I finished both sets of book pages, and then I started, I found a little bit of music paper, so I cut a sheet each for those, and then I've started cutting up my different stationery. So I've got this birthday book. So I had September and October. So the month does actually fit nicely. I'm going to do the September one because it's longer. Inside the 3 inches. So just going to trim that down. And then trim it down to the side. And then I actually found the midpoint because it's not quite big enough to have 2 full-size sheets, but we can do that. So I put that one in that one, and then that October can go in here because I've got the sheet there with some September. So that's going in there. I've got this paper from a planner, so I'm going to cut it off there at 4 inches. I'm going to cut there at 5 inches, and then score at 3, and that gives me a 2-inch little flip. So that's how they were done. Creating lots of nice scraps for different things. And that will be all the pages done. Really quick. Doing it like this. And then got a sheet of this, so I'm going to cut that down to 5. Score it at 3. Let's score it that way. Cut it at 4. Cut that one at 4. And that's my... So, might be small, but we're getting in lots of journaling space. And then lastly, this. Again, cut there at 5. Score at 3. It's ever so slightly longer. Just trim smidgy, little smidge off there for that one, and the same on here. Right, actually, no, I'll do what I've done, but what I'm going to do is have that other side as the foldy over side. There we go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I just cut that one down there just as a spare. Don't necessarily need to use them all. So that is all my sheets. Right, so those ones there with pockets, they need to be glued. So in much the same way, I'm gonna glue this down because it's just thin. I'm not going to have a top thing. I'm not going to use, it's quite thin paper, so I'm not going to use art glitter on this. I'm going to glue it down with colour, give it a little bit of extra strength. And the pages in here. So I do find that doing these spiral bounds, putting the pages together like this, quite quick. But to be fair, even if they're signature ones, cutting them up they are also quite quick. And you just haven't got to do the trimming when you put a folded signature together. And you trim the edge. You don't have to do that on this. I'm just saying, I'm thinking I could have inked that. I'm actually not doing any inking so far. And there's a bit of me that thinks I might not ink at all. It's going to have a tag in there, so you are going to see the separation. So I'm going to count how many tags I need and how many pages I've done. And of course, I don't always stick to what I've got. So 1, 2, 28, 29, 30 altogether. I had 33 before. 2 envelopes I've not done. So that was 12, 13. That's 14 tags. 14 tags required. I'm writing that down so I don't forget. If I want to put a little envelope flip in there. I had some mini envelopes, but I've got some 3x3 envelopes, but they're not 3x3. They take a 3x3 card, so they're slightly bigger, so they'd be no good. But I do think I've got some tiny little envelopes. Let me find them. So I went in search of particular envelopes, didn't find them, but I did find these are like lunch envelopes. I certainly used to take my dinner money in an envelope. Probably not one specifically designed for it. It would have just been an envelope that Mum had in a drawer, and she wrote my name, the class name, our class name, and the amount on it. They're not folded very well. I'm sure that's not straight. So they are, I want the opening to be that way, I think. So I'm going to take a bit off them. So I'm just going to fold these out. I thought we'll have 2 in each book. I'm just going to cut them down to be 3 inches wide. So I'm just going to use a little trimmer. So that they can go on the page and then open up like that. I think that'll work. Then I've got a little, I could add a little pocket somewhere if I chose to. Certainly not throwing them out. Certainly not cutting it that way. That was nearly a disaster, darling, wasn't it? Who's watching Strictly? I'm still not fully caught up, so I don't know who's been eliminated, so please don't tell me. You know, the first elimination. We're away when it started, and because we got a new skybox, it didn't automatically take because I'd not series linked it before because this is a new skybox. So I had to play catch up. So there, we've got these for something else, so they can go in my scrap pile. So I think we're sorted. So now all I need to do is put them in some sort of order. So I'm going to put them in piles. So an autumnal book, I think it'd be quite nice to be met maybe with that. I'm just gonna have a little look-see at the one I did before, just to give me some idea. So yeah, start with that. Oh, then we went with that. Why not? And then we add a book page. Only really, should we do that one? And then we add an envelope. And then we had another DSP page. And then we had a book page. So, first page, need a tag, got a flip out, the book page, got an envelope, gonna have a pocket, Edith Holden. Page. I'm going to do that so that colours with that, quite like that, and then we've got that matchy up, yep. Flip out. I might pop that in somewhere else. I'm thinking that I do possibly need something there. I'm thinking I might cut up another one of those sheets and put one in there. Where was I thinking? There. That is how I want everything to be. So now we've got all the pages together. I thought I'd make the cover. Now on the other one I used an actual book cover. I could chop down a book cover, but I did spend quite a lot of time on that one, like rewrapping the cloth around it, and I just thought I'm just going to get some chipboard and cover it with cardstock. So this is sort of chipboard you get, maybe with some, our speciality paper in Stampin' Up comes with this nice thick chipboard. I take them out of the back of pads. I've never bought it. It's always recycled. Now I did say I might use this sheet as the cover, and so that's what I'm going to do. I was kind of thinking where it might look. That butterfly might be quite nice to have it. I've got these acetates that are made. This one's not quite it's longer than it needs to be. Well, it's about that length, isn't it? Because I'm going to do a fold over, but it'll be wider. But yeah, so if I cut it there, that'll be quite a nice cover, I think. So I've gone 1/4 inch wider, yeah, and 1/4 inch longer. So it's 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then to have a fold over, I think I want a 1/2 inch fold over because we've got a lip as well. So that means I need to make it an inch bigger. So we're going to be 4¼ so we want to go to 5¼ right. So what I want to do, I'm going to do it up from the bottom. So I'm going to put this, oh no I'm not, I can't see, we'll do it on the tin side, 5¼ there, and then we're going to come in to 4¼ and I cut the top of the butterfly off. I'm going to lose it all, aren't I? I needed to go up a bit more. Oh well, never mind. It is what it is. Shouldn't have turned it round, but I did. So that's gonna go around like that, and it's gonna get folded over. Yeah, that butterfly's going completely. I'm just going to show you how I do one, and I'll do the other one off camera. I might just do a plain back on the back. So there we go, that's folded over. I'm going to use my bone folder to do that, but I'm going to actually, because we've got a lip, so it's going to have like a bit of an edge to it. So I want to stick it down first, and then we'll wrap it. So I'm going to use my glue stick so that every bit of it's glued. Obviously I'm going to add other glue because I'm not a truster of glue stick on its own, although to be fair it's going to have paper, it's going to be well sandwiched, so I could just do it, but I'm not gonna. There we go. This is the next day. So I started the other one yesterday. I started it in the afternoon. I had 50 minutes of filming, but I did things off camera as well. So I don't know if I spent a couple of hours on it so far. So, and I'm making two at the same time, remember? So I don't think that's bad. There we go. As I've already cut that, I'm gonna give it a good press. I've already made the one for the other, and I actually stuck it down first, but I forgot. That's what happens when you have a sleep. You forget. Well, I do anyway. So we've got similar colours running through because the paper pad, well, I've used other sheets from this paper pad plus the other paper pack that I've used. It's not a pad, it's a pack. Had similar colours in it, had the Mossy Meadow and the Cajun Craze in it, so that sort of works really well. So I've got slightly more at the top than I have here at the bottom. It don't matter. So I'm just going up and then around there. And then I'm going to do the same on this side. So it is quite thick chipboard. It comes in different thicknesses. Tell that from when I have it in paper packs. Some are thicker than the others, so I've gone for the thickest. Now what I'm doing here is to make sure the corners are out. There's several ways of doing it, but this is the way I do it with fabric, and I thought I'm going to do it because it's so wee. So pull in that at about 90 degrees. So I'm not cutting anything off. You can do it so you cut off, but because it's quite thick, I thought I'd do it this way. So if you were cutting off, you cut off so you've got a gap there, so that when you fold it up that way and then fold it up that way. Got a little bit that opens up, but I thought this was probably a little bit neater because it's quite little. And then, as I say, the corner of the book's nicely covered. Okay, so we're doing that. So let's glue that down using a strong glue to glue in place, because we don't want it unraveling. It's then going to have a piece over the top as well. And I sometimes use double-sided tape. It's the only time I think in a journal that I would use double-sided tape is on the corners of the covers. But I am just going to use my glue. So then I'm going to give that a good press. I love this bone folder. Got this for Christmas a few years ago. It's Teflon, so nothing really sticks to it. I love that it's got this straight edge, which is brilliant for this job. It's also got that edge as well. It's got a nice weight to it, and it's not made of bone, so an animal hasn't died. Whereas I think my other one is actually bone. It's a Stampin' Up one, and I think it is actually made out of bone, which does creep me out a little bit, being a vegetarian. So there we go. There we go. So that's that. That is what my cover's going to look like. I think that's pretty. Won't have to do much on that either, because that's just pretty. So maybe just a little nameplate on there. Actually, thinking about it, I could just put a book plate on that, and that would be done, wouldn't it? Before I stick on the other side. So I've got these book plates. They come with a screw. Screw's no good. But if I just put that across there, and then I can put in journal or something. I did it on a previous journal, and I really liked how it looked in the end. So I think that's what I'm going to do, actually. And I'm wondering about doing it white on black. So on this one, I heat embossed white on the black. And that memories would just fit in there. So I had a quick look at some of the digital kits that I've got that I know have got like black writing on, but with white on the background, but I couldn't find one, so I'm going to do this. So I'm just going to ink up. I inked it up, all of it, because I don't need all of it. I'm going to just brush off that bit. I can brush off the powder better when I've done it. Probably would have been better just waiting until I put this on. You probably know how to heat emboss. So there we are. Right, I'm gonna get rid of that. Most of that came off anyway. There we go. Would like journal, and maybe one day I'll get a stamp set that has journal written on it, but at the moment I don't. So I'm just going to heat that up. Yeah. So that's that done. And then I'm just going to trim it down to fit in this. Just fits in there nicely. I want to cut my rectangle so that I can slip it in, and then the person that this is going to, I'm swapping with, can then decide themselves if they want to change it out. I might put a bit of window sheet with it. If I got a bit, just a little bit of acetate. Got a little bit there. Is that right sort of size? Yeah, that'll do. Cooking on gas. Right, I'm gonna work from the back. So I want to make sure I get this straight. So are we about a, yes, cooking on gas. So I'm going to make this about a rule of width down. So I'm going to use that to draw a line. I am making this up as I go along. So that's going to be the top where it goes. Check in on the other side that that is in line with where it will look good. So it's like that, like that. Yep, that is a good space for it. Right, then put that on the line. I'm gonna, because these aren't quite the same width, so actually I need to be more this side. It'll just annoy me if it's not right. That's a centimetre. It's about a centimetre, so that's about right. So on the line there. Right, I'm going to, actually, I think this might be too small. Too small, too big even. I might just use my pokey tool to poke that down. So let's get me pierce mat. Let's get me piercing tool. Do get a better hole if it goes from the other side, but it's going to be covered up, so it doesn't really matter. So that's going to go in like that. Perfect. And I'm going to use some brads to hold it in place, because it comes with screws, but they ain't going to be no good. So I need to just get my little brads. So I've got these little brads, which are the right colour. I bought these were in a pack. There were gold ones, black ones, these sort of antique ones. No idea where I got them from. Had them literally years and years and years. So poke that through there. There we go. So, and then we'll just pin them over. There we go. That's that. Lovely jubbly. thoughts will go down there. And the acetate on the top as well. Cooking on gas. I like that. That's really nice. Don't matter, we can't see the butterfly. So I'm going to put some double-sided tape there on the back, just to hold it really well. I mean, obviously I'm going to put something on the back here as well, but I like to have these covered. There we go. So now I need to put something on the inside. So I'm thinking Cajun craze, and just by magic I have some Cajun craze here. So I'm going to cut my Cajun craze. We've got, so I'm going to go, so this is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to go 3 1/8 by 4 1/8 to cover that on the inside. So I was thinking what might be nice is to stamp on this so that it looks nice. Mat in here to stamp on. So I'm going to use tone on tone. I'm going to use some Cajun craze, and I'm going to use that leaf. I like that leaf. I've got that leaf shape in a retired leafy set. Gorgeous leaves. Just going to do a bit of random stamping, just so it's not plain. There we go. I think that works. Let's go for the back, which I will do off camera. So I'm going to put a bit of glue stick all over this. Not gone right up to the edges because that's where I'm going to put the glue. Suddenly got loads of stuff on this desk. There we go. Right, I'm going to take the back of this tape off. Right, so that should be up. Yeah, that's up. There we are. So that will look good there as the cover, and that looks good as the front cover. Okay, so I have done the back pocket. I chose some paper. I had some paper that was black and white, and then I just inked it up with the similar sort of colours, and I thought that was all right for an autumn journal. I will call that part 1 because I think I might have just gone over the hour with this, and I will do part 2. Will be finishing off pockets, tags, and hopefully we'll have time to bind it. So hopefully we'll get done in 2. If not, it will be 3, and I'll do a playlist of my mini autumn journal. Okay, hope you like that. Hope you check out part 2. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll link down below to everything I've used that you can buy in my shop. Okay, thanks for joining me. Bye bye.